यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातिरवनचारी यमुनातिरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातिरवनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणा कीर्तना हृदयन्तस्थो हि भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। Hare Krishna. So we are on a very beautiful point in Shrimad Bhagavatam, which is about the appearance of Lord Varahadev. So let's first start with this prayer from the Dashavatara Stotra by Srila Jayadev Goswami, where he has glorified all the 10 incarnations, the 10 principal incarnations of Lord Krishna. So let's read the prayer for Lord Varahadev, and then we'll continue with today's verses, just to glorify Lord Varahadev. So would anyone like to read this stotra? Any of the devotees?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Yeah, please read, Mataji. Yes,
वसति दशोदशिखरे धराणि तव लग्न शशिनिकलङ्ककलेव निमग्न केशवधृता सुकररूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So would someone like to read the meaning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Please read.
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glorious to you. The earth which had become immersed in the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom of the universe sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. So first of all, meditating on the form of Lord Varahadev. Lord Varahadev, this is a very unusual form that Lord Krishna has taken, because the boar, it's not considered a very beautiful animal or a very clean or pure animal. The kind of the places it goes to, all these things. But when Lord Krishna comes in the form of a boar, he is actually very, very beautiful. So we'll read, today, and we'll hear that how when the Lord comes in this form, the Devis and the Devtas, they are totally mesmerized to see the form of Lord Krishna in a boar. And the Devtas, they even forget their consorts and the beautiful apsaras. They don't match to the beauty of Lord Krishna in the form of a boar. So that is the glory of the Lord. In whatever form he chooses, he will be the most beautiful. Okay. So this is the form of Lord Varahadev. Now let's start with verse number 16. Anasuya Mataji, you want to read the shloka? And then Janki Mataji can read the translation and purpose.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Maitreya uvacha परमेष्टि त्वपां मध्ये तथा सन्नाम् अवेक्षकाम् कथम् एनां समुन्निश्य इति दद्यौ धिया चिरम्. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Janki
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji, small request, Mataji. Can you expand the screen, Mataji? Words are little smaller, Mataji.
Smaller. Okay, Mataji. Just give me a moment.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Is it better, Mataji?
Yeah, okay, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you can start. Janki Mataji, you can read the translation and purport.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we
Mataji,
do?
sorry. One moment, Mataji. The screen went to the 17th verse. This is the 16th.
Okay, that's why yes.
Sorry, Mataji. Yeah. Please read 16.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Maitreya said, "The seeing the earth merged in the water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted." Perfect. According to Jiva Goswami, the topics delineated here are of different millenniums. The present topics are of the Svetavaraha millennium, and topics regarding the Chakshusha millennium will also be discussed in this chapter. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Very good. So this section, like in Shrimad Bhagavatam, Shrimad Bhagavatam is all about different conversations, right, between different great personalities, whether it is Shukdev Goswami or Parikshit Maharaj or Suta Goswami and then Shaunakadi Rishis, or as the Bhagavatam progresses, there are many, many beautiful conversations through which these great pastimes of the Lord are brought out, right? So this particular section, who are the two great personalities between whom this conversation is taking place? So who would like to tell who this conversation?
Maitreya and Vidurama.
Yes, Mataji. So that is the main conversation that is happening. Now, in that conversation, there is a description of another conversation that is taking place. Which is this second conversation? Who are the two?
Brahma and Swayambhu
Brahma.
Manu.
Yes, Hari Bol. So Maitreya Rishi is saying now that when Brahma ji and Manu are having this conversation, then at one point, Brahmaji gives out the different duties and the responsibilities as we heard in the previous classes. And then Manu says that the earth has been submerged in the water. So Brahmaji, seeing the earth submerged in water, he is thinking, he's giving his attention to that problem as to how this problem can be solved, how the earth can be lifted. So here in this chapter of Shrimad Bhagavatam, we see that there is a great calamity that is taking place, right? I mean, the earth, the entire earth planet is submerged in the Garbhodaka ocean. And in this crisis, the Devtas, headed by Swayambhuva Manu, they are approaching Lord Brahma, who was their father and spiritual master, and they are seeking shelter. So Manu is the leader of humanity, right? I mean, Manu Samhita, all the guidelines that have been given come from him. And he's getting direct instructions from Lord Brahma. And all the Devtas are also there. So Manu and all the Devtas, they are not ordinary personalities. They are very, very great personalities. They're very powerful. They have wonderful qualities. And still, when they are in a state of crisis, what do? They only know that they have to go to Lord Vishnu, that only Lord Vishnu is going to be able to solve their problem. But they also know that they cannot just on themselves directly approach Lord Vishnu. They know that they have to go through a superior authority. They have to go through their guru. And that is why they are approaching Lord Brahma. They're not directly going and telling Lord Vishnu that, oh, the earth is submerged, do something. They know that only Lord Vishnu can save the earth, but they are approaching Lord Vishnu through Brahmaji. So when they are telling Brahmaji, then Brahmaji himself is contemplating, what to do, how can this problem be solved, how the earth can be lifted. And then in the upcoming verses, we'll see that what Brahmaji actually does, and then how the Lord reciprocates. Okay. So the learning, today's verses, if we just read them superficially, it will appear that, oh, okay, these verses are very great because they're talking about the time when Lord Varahadev actually appeared. So they are very great verses, very beautiful verses. But when we are so fortunate as we are that we are able to study through Srila Prabhupada's purports, then we'll know that every verse, even though it may appear that, okay, it's just a description of an occurrence, but there is something, very important to be learned from every verse. So thanks to Srila Prabhupada, thanks to our Guru Parampara and our Gurus, Shiksha Guru, that we are able to understand that how each verse is speaking to us. Each verse is trying to teach us something. So here we are learning that, how they are depending on their guru and in turn on the Lord. And the problem is that the tiny infinitesimal jiva thinks that, that's the general thinking, right? Under illusion, we think that we can protect ourselves, we can provide for ourselves, we can even protect others, we can even provide for others. But the actual reality, the fact of the matter is that we can't. We are actually very helpless. Now, this does not mean that we stop doing our duties. No, whatever the Lord has empowered us with, whatever He has given, whatever resources and powers He has given, we use those to solve the problems that come up or to help ourselves as well as others in our life. But what is our basic thinking? Are we thinking that I am the protector, I am the person who is helping, or I am just a medium? That is the difference between a non-devotee and a devotee. A devotee also does all the same actions. On the face of it, it may appear that the devotee is also doing the same actions as any other person. But the consciousness is very different. The devotee knows that whatever powers or abilities he or she has is only by the Lord's mercy. And whatever the devotee is able to do, it is only by the mercy of the Lord. So it is ahankar, it is illusion to think that I am the provider, I am the protector. The fact is that Krishna is the only shelter, Krishna is the only protector, he is the only one who can save us. Okay, like he says in Bhagavad Gita 18 chapter that you leave everything and just surrender unto me. What is that very famous shloka where Krishna is asking us to leave all dharma and surrender to him?
Sarva dharman parityajya
सर्वधर्मान्
mam
परित्यज्य
sharanam
माम्
vraja
एकं
aham
शरणं
tvam
व्रज
sarva papebhyo mokshayami ma shuchi.
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
So we'll revisit this shloka in another context in today's discussion. But for now, the learning is that when Lord Krishna is saying that you leave everything and come to me, I will look after you. I will take care. No, he also says, Ananyas Chintayantu Mam, I'll provide, whatever you lack. I'll take care of what you have. We have to understand that this is the fact. We are nothing. We are just so minute. We are so tiny. So that is the learning that we are getting here. And great saints, great sages, they never try to get anyone to surrender to them. They always try connecting the lost souls to the parampara so that they can surrender to Krishna. So if we see with Srila Prabhupada's example also, right? There was a point when some devotees started saying that Prabhupada is God. And Prabhupada, how greatly he was hurt by that. He didn't want that kind of adoration. All he was trying to do was that he was trying to connect everyone to Krishna. That was his sole aim. He said now that if a guru says that he's God, then he's actually a dog, right? So the great saints, they are teaching us that through the example of Brahmaji and Manu and the Devtas, we are learning that how in the time of crisis they are surrendering to Guru and to Krishna. Okay?
Hare
So
Krishna Mataji. Sorry
yes,
for the
Mataji.
interruption, Mataji. Could you repeat Mataji, what you said just now? If a guru says he is God, that he's
Prabhupada used to say that if a guru says that he is God, then he's not God, he's DOG. He's a dog.
okay. Hare
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So that is a position of the authorized acharya, that they don't take that glorification for themselves. They never claim that they are God, that you should surrender to me. They are always trying to connect everyone, the lost souls, to the parampara. So that is what we are seeing here, that the rishis and devtas, Lord Brahma, Manu, they are going to surrender to Lord Krishna, and the rishis and devtas, Manu, they are surrendering to Lord Brahma, as their guru, who is in turn is going to connect them to Lord Krishna. Now, this form, as I was mentioning, that the form the Lord is taking is very, very unique, because no one actually ever compares anyone to a boar, right, to a pig, unless they want to insult someone. So it's considered to be one of the ugliest and unclean animals. But Lord Krishna as a boar is most beautiful. And as I mentioned, that the demigods, they forgot their concerts, they forgot the apsaras, because the form of the Lord as a boar also is full in all these six opulences, right, which the Lord has. So he is very, very beautiful. And boars, they like to go to the dirtiest of places and dig things out, right? So that is the propensity. And the Lord is taking that propensity of a boar, and he goes deep into the Garbhodaka ocean and searches for earth and finds the earth. And on his very beautiful tusks, he brings up Mother Earth. Okay. So like we read now how Jayadev Goswami has glorified Lord Varadev. And he has also mentioned that when he was holding the earth on his tusks, that was increasing the beauty of Mother Earth also. Mother Earth herself is very beautiful, but on the tusks of Lord Varadev, she's even more beautiful. Her beauty is increased. And the earth had fallen into the deep ends of the Garbhodaka ocean. Now, the Devtas, they also want earth to come up, because for them, they depend on the sacrifices that take place, right? For that, earth has to be there where all these sacrifices are going to take place. So, earth needs to be properly situated and properly populated. And that is why the Devtas are also buried. And Swayambhuva Manu, he knows that it is inappropriate to approach the Lord for material problems, So they go to Brahmaji first, who is the responsible officer. And Brahmaji also, first he tries to figure it out himself, how this problem can be solved. And then we'll see Lord Varadev appearing because Brahmaji is in a mood of surrender. Yes, whatever ability we have, we try to solve whatever problems come up. But then at the end of the day, we have to surrender to Krishna. Whatever we are able to do or not do, our consciousness has to be that, my Lord, I'm totally depending upon you. If there is something I can do to solve this problem, that also I am doing totally depending upon you. And if there's nothing I can do, my Lord, then it is up to you, my Lord. You only are the one who can take care of me. That is the consciousness that we should try to develop. So here we will see that the Lord is going to appear from the nostrils of Brahmaji. Now, this is also another very unusual thing. First of all, his form is very unusual. Second of all, where he chooses to appear from, that is also very unusual. But this does not mean, this point is very important. Senior devotees explain that just because he's appearing from the nostrils of Brahmaji, this does not mean that he's an expansion of Brahmaji. He can choose to appear from wherever he wants. When he comes and does his pastimes, he has parents. But that does not mean that he is depending upon his parents, upon those parents to appear. The Lord is Abhigya Swarat. He is totally independent. So he can choose to appear from some place wherever he chooses, but that does not mean that he is an expansion of Brahmaji. Okay? The Lord is the source of everything. He's just choosing to appear from Brahmaji's nostrils here. Okay. Now, in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining that the topics are of Shvetavara millennium and topics regarding the Chakshusha millennium. They will also be discussed in this chapter. Now, there are different kalpas, there are different millenniums, right? So, in the present kalpa, the Shvetavaraha appears, and then this entire description is of the Shvetavara millennium. But there are two appearances of Varadev in different kalpas. So these are being combined into one narration for the sake of simplicity here. But in the present kalpa, it is Shvetavaraha who appears. And it's just the different names because of the different complexion the Lord takes. It's a slight difference in the form. They are both Varadev. They are, the same form of Krishna, just difference in the time when they appear. Slight difference in pastimes. At some times, Varadev comes just to lift Mother Earth, and at other times, there will also be that fight with Hiranyaksh. Okay? So that happens in different kalpas. So as you know that each kalpa actually has different cycles of yugas. Each kalpa is equal to 4.32 billion years. That is, a day of Brahmaji. A day of Brahmaji has 1,000 Mahayugas. So, in each kalpa, the pastimes slightly vary. Many times, even in Ramayana, we hear there will be some small, the basic plot remains the same, but small differences in the details happen because that is due to kalpa bhed. We should not think that it is unauthorized or it is incorrect. The difference sometimes we hear in past times, like, in Ramayana, we hear that Jayant came and he poked Mother Sita. Now, sometimes it is mentioned he poked on her feet, sometimes on her chest. So, those are the differences that come due to kalpa bheda. So Varahadev also appears in different kalpas in different forms, slight difference in pastimes, but for our understanding, we have to know that this is the same beautiful Lord in the form of Varahadev. Also, he's extremely beautiful and he's coming to protect Mother Earth. Okay, so that's about shloka number 16. Now let's go to shloka number 17. Sindhu Mataji, you want to read the shloka? And then Sudha Mataji can read the translation and all.
Yes, Mataji. Pranams, Mataji. Hare Krishna. 3.13.17. Shrijato me shitirvarbhi लाभ्यमाना रसां गता अथात्र किं मनुष्तेयम् अस्माभिः सर्गयोजितैः यस्याहं हृदयाताशं स ईशो विददातु मे. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sudha Mataji. Sudha Mataji, you want to read the translation purport?
Mataji, myself, Mataji.
Yeah, okay, Mataji, please.
Okay. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Brahma thought, while I have got engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, Mataji, you can read the purport also.
Hare Krishna. Purport, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors.
Sorry, Mataji. Yeah, please read.
The devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and He paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So in this shloka, we are seeing what is Brahmaji's reaction. He's thinking that while I was busy in the process of creation, the earth has been, it's gone and into the depths of the ocean. And he says that what can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. And Prabhupada is very beautifully explaining in the purport. See, this is another learning that is coming from this shloka, that Prabhupada is saying that devotees of the Lord who are confidential servitors are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and He paves the way for smooth progress of the devotee's life. Now, the learning here is that there will be many moments in our life where we will be perplexed, we will be totally lost. That happens in all of our lives. But Prabhupada is saying that they are never discouraged. The devotees are sometimes perplexed. Even the most confidential servitors of the Lord, they're sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and they know that surrendering to the Lord is the way. So here we are seeing that Mother Earth is submerged in the Garbhodaka ocean. Now, as we know that half of the universe is filled with water, where Garbhodaka Vishnu lies down, right, on Anantasheshji. Anantasheshji has thousands of hoods, and Lord Vishnu, Garbhodaka Vishnu, is lying down there, and Mother Lakshmi is serving the lotus feet of the Lord of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Now, from here, Brahmaji manifests and the different planetary systems manifest. And above the water, there are 14 planetary systems. Okay. In the middle of these 14 planetary systems is Mother Earth, and she has slipped down from her orbit and submerged into the Garbhodaka ocean. So this is just to give us a visual of what exactly has taken place. So the Lord is lying down on the ocean. Brahmaji comes, then above the ocean there are 14 planetary systems. The middle one, in the middle comes Earth. She has come down from her orbit. She has fallen down into the Garbhodaka ocean and has become submerged. Okay, so this is the position. This is the calamity that has taken place. Now, in Brahmaji's perplexity, there are two lessons. One is self-realization, and the other is dependency on the Lord, surrender. Self-realization because he's understanding who he is. He's understanding his own self. And dependency on the Lord because he says that it is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us, depending totally on Lord Krishna. So understanding is that the Lord's will is supreme. That is the ultimate. And for some time, Brahmaji did meditate, and he tried to understand, tried to see what can be done. But then he realizes, that it is only the Lord who can help us, the Lord who can intervene and take us out of this situation. He realizes that he is dependent on the Supreme. That is what he is teaching all of us. And he's taking a very humble position. He's not boasting that, oh, I am the creator of of the universe, the secondary creator. I can do something, I can find a way out, and there are times, right, when we are helpless, but our ego does not let us surrender. We are still trying to fight out, even though we know that there's nothing in our hands, but our ego doesn't let us surrender. So Brahmaji is teaching us, how not to let our ego come in the way. He's taking a very humble position. He is not being egoistic at all. That I'm the creator of the material universes. I'm a big person. He's taking a humble position. So we should also realize our position as living entities and surrender to the Lord. It is now beyond Brahmaji's capacity also to bring Mother Earth up. So after realizing his position, he is letting go of the ego, and he's totally surrendering that the Almighty can now. He's the only one who can guide us. He's the only one who can help us. So here the words confidential servitors is being used, right? Prabhupada is explaining. Now, confidential servitors are very, very dear to the Lord, right? And that is why they also get sometimes the most difficult sevas also, in which they become perplexed, and then they teach everyone through their the stand that they take, that when we are in the perplexity, when we are in this calamity, in facing this calamity, then what did we do? They surrender to the Lord, they pray to the Lord, and whatever you wish, my Lord, that should happen. Okay, so because the Lord is Dina Bandhu, He is Karuna Sindhu, He is Bhaktvatsala. It's not that the Lord is just going to let us be, okay, leave His devotees, okay, to your fate. No, the Lord is ready. He is actually waiting for everyone to come to Him. He is more than ready to help. He is more than ready to take care. But the problem is that we don't surrender. We always try to hold on. Okay, we don't understand that our ashray, our shelter, is actually the Supreme Lord. Okay, so when we do realize this, that we have our Lord, He is my shelter, then we'll never get discouraged. We'll never feel lonely in our life. And we learn this from Prabhupada's life also, right? His complete dependency on the Lord, his total devotion and love for the Lord, even from his childhood. And as he grew up, and he met his Guru Maharaj, he got the instruction, and he always kept that instruction in his heart. He was trying to do whatever he could to serve his Guru Maharaj, and then at a point he took to the Vanprastha ashram, and then sannyas, and he was totally depending on Krishna, whether he was trying to preach in Jhansi or trying to write books in Vrindavan, or when he went to America. We see from Prabhupada's life his total and complete surrender on Lord Krishna. Like in his prayers in Jaladuta, he says, right, Nachao, Prabhu. So he is telling Krishna that make me dance like a puppet. And that is the kind of surrender that we should strive for. It is not easy to get to that level, but that is why we are reading these scriptures. That is why we are getting guidance from seniors, so that we may be able to walk on that path to surrender. Right? 9.22 Ananyas Chintayantu Mam. Krishna says that I'll carry what you have, I'll provide what you lack. That is Krishna's promise. So we should have that much faith that, the Lord is going to be there. So we should never doubt and we should never fear. Prabhupada's name, right? Abhay Charanaravinda. He is totally fearless, having taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. And we see from other examples in the Bhagavatam also, like Gajendra, like Draupadi, right? When Gajendra was in this precarious situation, just about to lose his life. He is surrendering to Krishna. Krishna comes to protect. When Draupadi, she is being disrobed in the middle of the assembly, she surrenders to Krishna. Krishna does come. Even and earlier also, when that story of the Akshay Patra, when all the Pandavas had eaten, Draupadi had also eaten, and then Durvasa Muni comes with thousands of disciples. They are in a very perplexed situation. They don't want to anger Durvasa Muni. They are just thinking of Krishna, oh Keshav, oh Madhav. And Krishna comes. He takes one morsel of rice and the whole problem is solved. So we see that as devotees turn to the Lord does provide shelter because He is the ashray of everyone. And He will never turn His back towards His devotees. That is one thing that will never happen. And there is one thing that is guaranteed, that if we turn to Krishna, Krishna is going to take care. So the only thing that lacks is our surrender, our faith. He is actually eagerly waiting for His devotees. Okay, that is how merciful and how loving our Lord is. Because we don't know our future, right? We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, but Krishna knows, right? So it is very important that we realize that if something is happening that we don't understand the reason behind, we may think that the world is just running without any rhyme or rhythm, but that's not true. Everything has a reason. And in a devotee's life, when things are adverse, there are problems, they have this faith that if Krishna is letting this happen, then there is something good in it. Okay. So we have to understand who Krishna is, how powerful He is, and then we have to surrender to Krishna, having that complete faith in the Lord. Okay, as we read scriptures, as we chant attentively, through the mercy of Krishna, through the mercy of devotees and our Guru Maharaj, that faith will come. No, because we cannot have that kind of faith in our body, in our mind, in our intelligence. Can we? Is our intelligence that strong? Is our body that strong that it can actually save us? Is our mind that strong? No. These things are our body, our abilities, our mind, our intelligence. They're not strong enough to be able to save us. Okay. Only Lord Krishna can actually provide that kind of support and that kind of shelter to us. Okay. Now let's go to the next shloka. That is the 18th one. Yeah. Sudha Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dhananjay.
इति अभिध्यायतो नासा विवरात् सहसा नगः वराहतोको निरधात् अंगुष्ठपरिमाणकः. Translation also, Mataji.
Yeah, I'll just request someone else, Mataji. Chandana Mataji, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. O sinless Vidura, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you, Ji. So, as we discussed earlier, that the Lord is appearing from the most unusual of places, the most unexpected of all places, in the most unexpected of form. And it happens very suddenly. It's all very, very quick. It's not like they show in the TV serials, right? Everything happens very, very slowly, making a very big impact, and to make it look very um, very grand. They make everything go very slowly with the music and all that, just to create that impact. But the Lord comes very fast. It happens very suddenly. Brahmaji is seeing, he's thinking, he's deciding what to do. Then he surrenders that, okay, the Lord only can take care. And immediately, all of a sudden, a minute form of the boar, of Hara form, comes out. And Brahmaji was just thinking, I don't know how to solve this problem. The Lord can only solve this problem. And the Lord appeared. So that is his reciprocation to Brahmaji's surrender. The Lord will always reciprocate. As I said, the only thing lacking is our surrender. In the Damodar Leela that we read in the Kartik month, what are those two things? The 2 finger too short. Why is the rope 2 finger too short? Does anyone remember what those
Yes,
two?
Mataji. Endeavor, mercy and endeavor of the devotees to bind Krishna.
Yes. So the endeavor has to be there, right? We have to endeavor. That is the problem. We have to endeavor to surrender. And then seeing our mood of sincerity, are we trying to surrender with sincerity? Then the Lord gives his kripa. Now, what does surrender actually mean? We may find it a little confusing at times. Does it just mean that, okay, I leave everything to Krishna and stop doing everything? stop doing all my activities, just totally depending upon Krishna, or I should do my work, or what is the consciousness that should be? So devotees explain that surrender actually means that we go as per the instructions of sadhu, shastra, and guru. You know, whatever our Guru Maharaj had said, what are the other devotees, seniors, sadhus telling us, and what is the Shastra telling us. If we are totally totally surrendering to their instructions, following the instructions of sadhu, shastra, and guru, then we are told to be surrender. And if we are just, say, for example, if we are only able to follow 70% of the instructions, then that means our surrender is also just 70%. And we have to try to increase that to 100%. Okay. So the mode of surrender of Brahmaji is being rewarded by the Lord here. The Lord immediately comes in the form of a boar. Okay. So now let's go to the next shloka. It is 19th. Now 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Yeah, we'll read these shlokas first and then we'll discuss, because the initial few shlokas don't have a purport and the theme is kind of similar in all these shlokas. So we'll one by one read 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23, and then we will discuss. Okay, so maybe we can have one devotee reading one shloka and translation, and then the other devotee can take. So Dr. K. Karpagavali Mataji, you want to read the 19th shloka and translation?
Dandatna Mataji.
Dandatna Mataji. Yes.
Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Please read.
Hare Krishna. Mambroti Vasudevaya. Shrimad Bhagavatam 3.13.19. Tasya vipasayata kasta
Shanena Mataji, your voice is breaking a little.
Kilaba Gajamatra Pravade, that Adbudam Badakiji, O descendant of Bharata, tweeted in the sky, is gigantic as an elephant. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So, next shloka, we'll go to the next shloka. Yeah. Sindhu Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
3.13.20. Marichi pramukhair viprai kumarair manunasaha drishtva tat shaukaram rupam charkhayam asha chitrada. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma with great brahmanas like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Prashanti Mataji, you want to read the next shloka?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam. Netatsuka sukara vyajam sattam divyam avastitam ahopatascharam charyam idam nasaya me vinishritam. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Is this some extraordinary entity come in the presence of a boar? It is very wonderful that he has come from my nose. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna. Anita Mataji, you want to read 22?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so Mataji, this has a purport. So you kindly read the shloka and the translation, and then Divya Mataji, you can read the purport for 22.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Please start.
So, Shrimad Bhagavatam 3.13.22. दृष्टो अंगुष्ठशिरो मात्रः क्षणात् गण्डशिला समः अपि स्वित् भगवानीश यज्ञो मेघयदयन्मनः. Translation by His Divine Grace is Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of thumb, and within a moment he was as large as the stone. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since Brahma is the supermost person in the universe and he had never before experienced such a form, he could guess that the wonderful appearance of the boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. The uncommon feature of systematic of the incarnation of Godhead can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat pranam, Mataji. Thank you so much. Okay, 23rd. This is the last shloka for today. Yeah, Suma Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams Mataji. Iti mima satastasya brahmana sah sunubhi bhagavan yajna purusha jagendra sannibha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. While Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, rode tumultuously like a great mountain. Purport also, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna. Purport. It appears that great hills and mountains also have their roaring power because they are also living entities. The volume of the sound vibrated is in proportion to the size of the material body. While Brahma was guessing about the appearance of the Lord's incarnation as a boar, the Lord confirmed Brahma's contemplation by roaring with his Mataji, I could not see that. Voice.
This gorgeous voice.
Good. Okay, Mataji, voice. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So, in 19 to 23, we see that there is a description of the form of the Lord, and then, we'll read as we read. So, the form of the Lord, first he appears, with a very small form from the nose of Lord Brahma, size of the tip of the thumb. And then he becomes situated, in the sky as a gigantic elephant, great elephant. Okay, so first of all, we see in 18 that the measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb. Now he has taken the form of a gigantic great elephant. And then we read that Brahmaji is struck with wonder. And not just Brahmaji, but great Brahmanas like Marichi as well as the Kumaras, Manu, they begin to argue in various ways. They're discussing, that who is this extraordinary entity? So is this some extraordinary entity in the pretense of a boar? And Brahmaji is thinking that this is very wonderful that he came out of my nostril. And then it is mentioned that, first of all, he was of a size no bigger than a thumb. Then he grew to the size of a stone. And then finally, we know that he's taken the great form of the size of a great elephant. So it is mentioned that, his mind is perturbed. Brahmaji's mind is perturbed. He's thinking, oh, is this actually the Supreme Lord? Okay. And Brahmaji is the supermost person in the universe. He has seen everything, right? All different forms, how they come. But even he had not seen and experienced such a form. That's how unique and wonderful this form was. So he could guess that the wonderful appearance of the boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. He knows that this form is not of this world. This has to be, someone very special. It has to be Lord Vishnu. And then Prabhupada mentions that the uncommon features symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. Brahmaji, whose full body is made up of, knowledge, he is also getting perturbed. And then in the last shloka for today, 23rd, it is mentioned that while he was thinking like this, that the Lord roared like a great mountain. He is confirming that yes, what you're thinking is right. I am the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada then is mentioning in the purport about the Lord's incarnation as a boar, this form, and then his roaring also. So Prabhupada is saying that the great hills and mountains also have their roaring power because they are also living entities. The volume of the sound vibrated is in proportion to the size of the material body, right? I mean, in any material body which is small in size, the roaring will be smaller. And if it is a gigantic mountain, then the roaring will be very loud. So then Prabhupada says that while Brahma was guessing About the appearance of the Lord's incarnation as a boar, the Lord confirmed Brahma's contemplation by roaring with his gorgeous voice. Brahmaji is thinking that is this the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And the Lord confirms that through his roaring. Okay. Now here we see that Brahmaji, he has assembled the entire universe, right? I mean, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu is the primary creator, but Brahmaji is the secondary creator. He is very, very intelligent, but even he is bewildered seeing the form of the Lord. Why? Because first of all, the form is very unique and then it's coming out of his nostril. It has very uncommon characteristics. A boar generally walks on 4 feet, but this boar is on 2 feet, and this boar has ornaments also. It is very beautiful also. So Brahmaji is experiencing it, and while they are experiencing this very extraordinary form, the sages begin to argue, oh, what is this form? Is this Supreme Lord? Because no living entity can do this. So that's the discussion that is happening, and then the Lord roars to confirm Brahmaji's thinking. Now here, devotees explain that the point to be learned is these occurrences, they are preparing our mind for further what is going to come in the Shrimad Bhagavatam. Now, this is third canto. As we go further, in 10th canto, when Lord Krishna's pastimes are going to come, now a lot of those pastimes will be very difficult to understand, right? How is the Supreme Lord stealing butter? How is he stealing the clothes of gopis? How is he, going and having a dance in the night with other people's wives? All these things are going to really confuse someone and bewilder a person if their consciousness has not been prepared by systematically reading Srimad Bhagavatam canto by canto. Now, this occurrence, what has happened, if we just go and tell someone, say a friend of ours who has no connection with spiritual knowledge, and we tell them that, the Lord, the Supreme Lord, he took the form of a boar, he came out of the nostril of Lord Brahma, then he became of the size of a stone, and then he took the size of gigantic elephant. This is what actually happened. Will they believe us? No. Most likely they won't, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? How can this happen? Because the problem is we try to understand everything through our logic. But Lord Krishna's pastimes, they don't have anything to do with this material world, with these modes of nature, with this material setting. They are of a transcendental nature. If we try to understand something transcendental with our material senses, with our material reasoning, we'll definitely fail. Okay. When Krishna is doing these things, it is totally spiritual. But our mind cannot conceive of it because we are seasoned, we are kind of conditioned to bring logic every. Like, if anything is happening, does it make sense to me? If it is not making sense to me, then we start thinking that, this.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think you are muted.
You're in mute.
Yeah, I think someone had unmuted, so everyone had to mute it.
Hare Krishna, I'm very sorry, Mataji. Apologies, Mataji. I muted you. I thought some disturbance is there. I'm sorry, Mataji.
Yeah, there was a disturbance, Mataji. No problem. Thank you so much. Yeah. So when Lord Krishna is doing these things, we have to understand that these things are beyond our logic and perception. We cannot bring our material logic in pastimes of Lord Krishna. These things have to be understood with faith, but this is not blind faith. We have to understand that these things are happening in a very different dimension. So it is not that, we are told to just blindly trust anything. No, that's not what's happening. But we are told that there is something that goes beyond our intelligence. And we have to trust that. We have to understand that our intelligence, our logic is going to take us to only a certain level. Beyond that, it is a matter of faith. We have to know the limitations of our intelligence and our senses so that we are able to trust all this that is going to happen. That is why our consciousness, through these different pastimes is gradually being prepared for the 10th canto, so that when Krishna steals butter, we are able to understand why he's stealing butter, why he's stealing the dresses of the gopis, why he's having Ras Leela. That is why we should read Shrimad Bhagavatam canto by canto. We should never jump up to the 10th canto. Yeah, because our consciousness is being prepared. And we see here that Krishna's activities can bewilder even Lord Brahma. Okay, and then through that he is able to gain some understanding of Krishna's potency. It's like, Damodar Leela, for example, death personified is afraid of Krishna, but Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda. He's crying so much, he's sobbing. So all these things, it may appear very unbelievable for some people. But if we have that faith and if our intelligence is trained, then we'll find those same pastimes very sweet. Yeah. And by Lord Gauranga's mercy, all these pastimes are being revealed to us. The love of Krishna, which is so difficult to attain. Lord Gauranga has distributed that love so freely. Mahaprabhu has made it so accessible that we have to chant, we have to read scriptures, have prasadam, associate with devotees, do some seva, and through this we'll be able to elevate our consciousness. Yeah. So all these things, it's very important for us to understand that there will be things which are beyond logic, which will appear beyond logic for us, but we should not get perturbed. We should know that our intelligence is going to take us only to a certain level, and then we need to have faith in the Lord. We need to have faith in Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas and our scripture. Okay. So now, when the Lord sees that everyone is so bewildered, then he roars. Again in that roaring shloka, the mountain. Prabhupada is saying that the mountains also have life. Someone may think, oh, mountain, how can a mountain have life? Roaring like a mountain, how is that making sense? But it is possible, right? Now, a very crude example for that to help us understand. If say 20 years ago, we told someone that a device is going to come, which will be very small. If we speak to it, it is going to speak to us. It is going to be a very wonderful device. And if we speak to it, it will speak to us. Somebody would think, oh, we are very, very foolish. How can that happen? Telephones were still there, right? But mobile phones were not there. Then even when mobile phones came, smartphones were not there. But now we can, right? Okay, Siri, do this, or Google, tell me this. We speak to the phone is speaking to us. So if a phone can speak, why can't a mountain speak? This is how we should understand. Just because we are seeing a phone speak, now we are believing. We have not seen a mountain speak, so we won't believe it. This kind of logic we should not apply. We should know that these things are beyond my understanding, but because they are given in our scriptures, we have to understand that this is true. Okay. So even though the form of Lord Varahadev seems inconceivable, he can come in any form, right? And some people say that actually God comes only in very high caste, Brahmana, Kshatriyas. Varahadev, Matsya Avatar, what are these? Are these Brahmanas? Are these very high castes? No, he's taking animal form because that pastime requires him to take a certain form, right? So the Lord is the father of everyone. He can take any form. So here he is taking the form of a boar. But even in the form of a boar, his form is divine. Okay, he has 2 feet, he's bejeweled, and he is looking amazingly beautiful. Okay, and he jumped and came. So this shows how desperate he is to save his devotees. This is another beautiful form of the Lord, beautiful aspect of the Lord, that he is so excited, so enthusiastic that he cannot wait. So he jumps and comes out, and this enthusiasm of Krishna to save his devotees is very, very comforting for Mother Earth and all the devotees. Okay, they're greatly comforted that okay, the Lord is here. They have that, they have that feeling, they have that comfort that okay, the Lord is here. Now He's going to save Mother Earth, and everything is going to be fine. Okay, so the aspect of learning is that we have to understand that our intelligence is going to be limited, and we have to have faith so that we are able to read these scriptures and understand them. And Srila Prabhupada always encouraged this, believing in authority. For example, Why was he constantly talking about scientists, rascal scientists, or scientists, they don't believe in God, or they're talking about the Big Bang Theory, or saying that, you cannot actually go to another planet? Why was he taking these things again and again? He was saying these things again and again so that we take our faith from the material scientists and put that faith in Krishna and Krishna's words and the words of authority. Okay? So our belief, our conviction should be in the scriptures, fully convinced that the scriptures are accurate. That is how strong our faith should be, and that is why Prabhupada was stressing this point again and again. Now we may say that, oh, but people did go to the moon. But see, everything happens in a different dimension. Yes, they may reach the moon planet, but that they are still in the dimension of Earth. They have not reached moon in the dimension of moon. That is why they were not able to meet anyone. They were not able to see anyone, because all planets have a different dimension, different time. Everything is very different. By our material means, even if we go to the surface of a planet, that doesn't mean that we have actually entered the planet. That is what Prabhupada used to say. So that is why the point to be stressed is that the scriptures will tell us about Krishna, and that is why we need to trust the scriptures. We have to trust the scriptural knowledge, the spiritual knowledge that is being given to us, and we have to train our minds to believe in authority, right? So here, these shlokas, just to recap what we learned today, we learned that how the Lord comes in this very, very beautiful form of Lord Varahadev. It is a very unusual form, and he comes out of a very unusual place also. But this form is very magnificent and very beautiful. And Lord Brahma, he is approached by Swayambhu Manu and the other devtas. That shows us that whenever we are in a position of problem, any calamity, and we should approach the Lord through our Guru. Then Brahmaji tries to think how the problem can be solved, but then he depends on Krishna, and then the Lord comes out, jumps out, very eager to save his devotees. And then how the form of the Lord looks and how it becomes very big, that is mentioned. And then all the devotees, they are discussing amongst themselves that who is this form, who is this? Is this Brahmaji is thinking, is this actually the Supreme Lord? And then the Lord roars to confirm that yes, he has come and he is going to protect. So through these verses, we are learning how important it is to trust authority, to have our faith in scriptures, to have our faith in our acharyas. So if Prabhupada is saying this, if our scriptures are saying this, then it is true. Yes, even though my intelligence is not able to completely understand this, yeah, it doesn't really make logical sense to me right now, but that is my limitation. Yeah, there is nothing wrong and nothing lacking in our scriptures. Our scriptures are perfect. What the acharyas have given is perfect, and that is how we should read the scriptures. Then the scriptures will actually really speak to us. Okay, so we'll end here. If there are any corrections, any comments or questions, we can take that.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
I
Yeah,
want to thank you so much, Mataji, for having your association again, Mataji, after a long time, Mataji. And I request you to come again and again, Mataji. It was really so nice
Mataji,
class, Mataji. Yes,
I'm
Mataji,
really
because
not
it
qualified
is
for
not
this.
enough, no, Mataji, because I never wanted to say any word, but really I could not stop, Mataji, because I really want to glorify, because it was so nice class.
yes,
And
Mataji, we are
so
thorough now.
practical points.
Wonderful class.
Not
So,
a
Varaha,
single word, Mataji. It has really touched our heart. But the thing is that we have to completely take the shelter of Guru and surrender to the Lord. We have to have so much of faith. Just by doing our sadhana only, we can come to that stage and surrender completely to the Lord. If we miss out in this janma, it won't be possible. Like how Srila Prabhupada says, in many millions of years, I will have to wait then. And you really explained it so well, Mataji. And
No,
especially
Mataji, I was just repeating what I have heard. This is not my realization, because I'm also struggling to surrender. This is a struggle, but this is a very sweet struggle, right? And as you rightly said, we are so fortunate that we got this opportunity, and we should be very, very sincere. Wonderfully said, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Mataji, I just have a small doubt.
Thank you for your
Mataji,
association,
but
Mataji. Thank you for
Anita
your
Mataji,
association,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for your association, Mataji.
Thank you.
Nice,
Thank you so
Mataji.
much.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
Like
Yes.
Anita Mataji sang this verse, na? This tune. I mean, I know the tune is not important, but still I just like the tune a lot, Mataji. Can it be used for BJ as well, the meter? I mean, iti mimam satastasya brahmana sahasunibi bhagavan yagna purusho jagat jagendra shanniba. Like, can we use,
Yeah.
right? For all
Yeah,
the...
Mataji, I also like that tune. I was actually going to say that how different devotees were reciting in different meters, and yet it was so beautiful. So yes, Mataji, why not? And
Or
I
even
actually,
Bhagavad Gita.
yes, Mataji, yes. I've heard different devotees recite Bhagavad Gita shlokas also differently. If you hear His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Swami Maharaj, he recites shlokas in a very different meter. It is very, very beautiful. So do hear that. So yes, Mataji, why not?
Okay, this one, like Sarvadharman Parikyagya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham
Yes,
Tvam
Mataji, thank you
Sarvapi.
for
Yeah, it comes for all the
bringing this.
slokas, I think so, Mataji. Okay, thank you.
And thank you for bringing that verse, because I had said that we'll come back to this shloka. So
Yeah.
this question of faith. If we have faith in our scriptures, then we'll have faith in Krishna's this shloka also, that he will protect. That is why it is important to have faith in the scripture. So thank you, Mataji, for reminding me of this shloka. Yeah,
Hare Krishna
all
Mataji.
tunes are for Krishna's
Thank you.
glorification.
Pranams.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I had a question.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Mataji, you're just saying that first Lord Varaha appears from the nostrils of Brahma. Is he in the form of a boar, or what? Which shape does he take first, Mataji?
Boar only, Mataji, but small, the tip of the thumb, that size.
Thumb size. Okay, and then he becomes a stone, is it, Mataji?
Then the size of a stone, and then the size of a gigantic elephant.
Oh, the same boar in
different sizes. Yes.
different sizes, he goes on expanding, is what it is.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. The pace and the way you tell us is very, very nice, Mataji. So thank you so much.
I'm highly unqualified. It's your kindness, all of you, that you are bearing me. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Very nice class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So you said that the people couldn't see the people on other planets. You said some other reason, Mataji, I couldn't get. Can you please repeat?
Mataji, every planet has a different dimension. Earth has a different dimension. Earth has a very different atmosphere. Our bodies are for Earth planet. So yes, they have traveled to the moon, but they have just reached the surface of the moon. They have not actually gone to moon planet, because if they had gone to moon planet, then they would have seen people who are staying on the moon. We know there is life on every planet, but their bodies are conducive for the environment of that planet. Even sun planet has inhabitants, but their bodies are made of fire, so they are able to stay there. We are on Earth planet, so our body is mostly Earth, right? Like this. So they reached the surface of the moon. That is, yes, it's a big achievement, yes. But what Prabhupada used to say, that you cannot actually reach the moon planet, with its inhabitants, with everything that is going on in that planet, that we cannot reach through mechanical means. That is why nobody was seen when they went to the moon.
Okay,
Yes,
Mataji,
Mataji?
thank you so much. Yeah. Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
one doubt Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
This mountain is said as a living entity. How is it?
Yes, Prabhu. So that's what I was saying, that why can't a mountain be a living entity? Yeah,
It's a
Govardhan
stone.
is a living
It is
entity.
a stone. It is a stone.
Yes, so for our thinking, yes, it is a stone. But if the Lord is saying, if it is coming in Bhagavatam that there are mountains which can speak, then there must be mountains which can speak. Yes, we have not seen such mountains, but isn't there a possibility that there will be such mountains? We cannot say that just because I have not seen a mountain, then it will, no mountain can have life. That is what Prabhupada is hitting at. Great, he's saying that it appears that great hills and mountains also have their roaring power because they are living entities. So when Prabhupada is saying that, we have to understand that even though we are not able to perceive that this mountain has life, if it is coming in the scriptures, then mountains can have life. Why not? Yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
And Prabhu, these things are happening in different yugas, in different places, in different dimensions. So we should not restrict that to what we have seen around us. Prabhupada is saying hills and mountains can have life. So that is what we have to believe, that yes, it is possible. Like I gave that example now, phone is speaking to us. Right? So there must be hills which have life, mountains have life. Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। Hare Krishna, Dhanut Pranam. Thank you, dear devotees.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the
Thank you,
wonderful class.
Mataji.
Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna. Very nice class, Mataji.
Hare Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Hare Bol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.